Next we have example 3. We'll also be using a proportion, but this time we'll be using it to find a base. We're also going to be looking at a situation rather than just numbers. So we're looking at these numbers in context. It's about a heptathlon. In a heptathlon, an athlete earns points in 7 track and field events. Suppose an athlete earns 836 points in the 100-meter hurdles. This score, in other words, this 836 points, makes up 16% of the total score. What is the total score? So again, we're going to be looking at a proportion. Let's see what their solution says. In this situation, 836 is a part of the total score. The total score then is the base. So we might want to even jot that down. Total score here, and we know that 836 is a part of their total. So that's how fractions always work. Part on the top, total on the bottom. All right, there's our proportion again. Part over whole, percent over 100. Let's see how they got that set up. So here we see that 836 is part of the whole of the total. B is the base, but we don't know what that is. Base is bottom. We know that it's that 836, that score is 16%. So notice it's right across from 16% in the proportion. What we don't know is the whole. We don't know what 100% of the score is. That's what we need to find this time. Now, this time they're solving the proportion using a different method. This time they are using cross products. We know in a proportion that cross products must always be equal. So this times this must equal this times this. So notice that they're writing that down. I know 836 times 100 must equal 16 times B, and then they're simplifying. 836 times 100 is 83,600. That is equivalent to 16B. Now, they're not showing this, but they're telling us we're dividing each side by 16, which again, you could do using long division, you could do it using partial quotients. These are big enough numbers where I think it's justified to use a calculator. I think most adults would. If you divide 83,600 by 16, you'll get 5,225. So the answer to the question, the athlete's total score, remember we were looking for the base, that total score is 5,225 points. Looking back at that proportion, we know that 836 is 16%, and we know that 5,225 is the total, or 100% of this athlete's points. Now again, there are some checkpoint questions which you could practice. So we're going to go over to our note-taking guide and see if we can use that same idea on example 3. It's about finding a base, the bottom number. Student council election, you receive 189 votes, or 45% of the votes in the student council election. How many students voted? So this 189 votes, they're saying, is 45%. We don't know how many students voted. We don't know the total number of students. Here's their solution. So first they're thinking and stating 189 is a part of the total number of voters, which is the base. Here's that old proportion again. Part over whole, percent over 100. Let's substitute some numbers in. We know that 189 votes, the part that you got, is 45% of the vote. So 45 goes over 100. 189 is across from 45. What we don't know is what's 100% of the votes. How many votes total were there? We're going to use our cross products property. In a proportion, cross products are always equal. So 189 times 100 must equal 45 times B. So I'm going to write that in here. 189 times 100 must equal 45 times b. There's our cross products property. Now they're reminding us to multiply here. 189 times 100, we're just going to add 2 zeros onto the end of 189 to get 18,900. And we're going to get rid of that multiplication sign. We know this can be written as 45b. All right, we want to solve for b. b is being multiplied by 45, so we're going to divide each side by 45 to see what happens. I'm going to assume you have your calculator with you and you can finish this problem to find what b is and answer the question. That would bring you to the end of example 3.